Kiran Makkar, and today I am going to discuss with you an essay which has been seen today, that is 24th October 2015, in the academic IELTS writing test in China. Some people say that playing computer games is bad for children, whereas others say that it has positive effects on the way children develop. Discuss both sides and give your opinion. The computer game industry is a part of our world today. From its humble beginnings in the 80s, the video game industry has exploded into a $10 billion empire. It is a debatable issue whether these games are good or bad. In this essay, I intend to delve into the pros and cons of these games. I personally believe that these games are good, but only if played in moderation. Moderation means a limit, not too much, not too less. Then this is humble beginnings. Means very modest beginnings, very poor beginnings. These games were seen to earliest in the 80s. But today it's more than a $10 billion empire, and delve into means discuss. I intend to discuss the pros and cons of these games. I personally believe that these games are good, but only if we play them in limit. Then the first paragraph. There are many advantages of playing PC games, of watching computer games, of playing computer games. Actually, this earlier essay which had come had the word TV also in it. So that is why I forgot to change that first sentence. There are many advantages of playing computer games. To begin with, video game playing introduces children to computer technology. Secondly, some games provide practice in problem solving and logic. Example, Age of Empires. Video games have proved to improve visual skills. They also improve motor and spatial skills. Children who play video games have better reflexes. So, in this whole paragraph, I've talked about the advantages of playing computer games. These games introduce children to computer technology. So, video games introduce children to computer technology. This is a simpler sentence. And secondly, they also provide practice in problem solving and logic. Example, Age of Empires. There's a game, Age of Empires, and children have to, when they play such game, they have to develop, think about strategies of winning and how to solve problems. So this improves the logical thinking of the children, and they also learn how to solve problems on their own. Video games have proved to improve visual skills. You know, if you watch children playing, there are things coming from all parts of the computer screen, and children are very quick to interpret them. So these games improve the visual skills also of the children. They also improve the motor and the spatial skills. Motor skills are the muscular skills, small muscles of the hand. Just see the fingers of the children when they play the games, which key to press and when to press. Their fingers move very rapidly, so they improve the motor skills and also the spatial skills. They watch the monitor, and they have their fingers moving accordingly very fast. Children who play video games have better reflexes. They also learn better reflexes. Immediately they react to something happening. This is called reflex. So they have better reflexes. So in this paragraph, I have put all about the advantages. If you want to make things simpler, you just can write that they introduce children to technology and they provide practice in problem solving and logic. And you can ignore these lines about the visual skills and the motor and spatial skills and about reflexes. What is more, these modern games make learning fun. Now, this is what is more is a transition signal, and it signifies that in this paragraph also I'm going to continue with the advantages of computer games. That is why I've put up what is more. I can also write further, moreover, These modern games make learning fun. The cost of failure is lower. In games which children play with each other, if they fail, then the other children laugh at them. But in these games, learning is fun because there is no cost of failure, and they take risks and explore. Children and are encouraged to take risks and explore the game, because if the child gets the answer wrong or their character dies, he just starts the game over and tries again. So, in these games, children love to take risks, and they love to explore, and so this is what makes learning fun. There, in other games which they play in a group, or if they fail, they have they fear that others will make fun of them. And but in these games, there is no such fear in their mind, and so they are encouraged to take risks and explore. So it develops the children. If they get the answer wrong or their character dies, the child just starts the game over and tries again. Finally, some games have therapeutic applications. Therapeutic means they have they cure certain depressive disorders, and that is why uh, uh, doctors prescribe these games to some children who are suffering from depressive disorders. They have their own therapeutic applications. On the other hand, now this on the other hand means that now I am going to talk about the disadvantages of these games. In two paragraphs, I have talked about the advantages of computer games, and now in one paragraph, I am going to sum up the disadvantages. On the other hand, there are some disadvantages of these technological inventions. Firstly, over dependence on these games leads to social isolation, as these are usually played alone. Secondly, some games have violent characters, and seeing their violent acts leads to aggressive behavior in children. So, children also imitate that behavior, violent behavior. Moreover, these games can confuse reality and fantasy. For example, when children play car racing games, then they may race their own vehicles in real life, which can lead to accidents. Finally, these games are addicting, and once a child sits to play these games, time flies, and everything else, such as studies and outdoor games, are forgotten, which is indubitably bad. Indubitably means certainly, definitely. You can use definitely or certainly in this place. And my main aim is to teach one or two big words in every essay, so that you can incorporate them in your writing for the lexical resource. So in this paragraph, I've talked about the disadvantages. I've started my paragraph with the transition signal on the other hand. Then first is social isolation, because these games are played alone. Then violent behavior, aggressive behavior, that is the second disadvantage. Then children confuse fantasy and reality, because in these games, the motorcycle crashes and immediately the person gets up and starts riding again. But in reality, these things don't happen, and children can fall prey to accidents. And finally, these games are addicting. So these are disadvantages of these games. To summarize, on the whole, these games are very good, and certainly their advantages outweigh their disadvantages. But these should be played in moderation, these should be played in limit, these should be played less, and other things also, outdoor games and other things also um, should be incorporated into the child's daily routine. So these should be played in balance. I have used the word moderation two times, so I will use another. These should be played in balance. That means it should be played in a limit. Parents should limit the game playing time and see to it that homework and other important chores are done before playing. The plan followed in this essay is very simple. In the introduction, it's a um, typical introduction, and discusses the introduction, para 1 advantages, para 2 more advantages, para 3 disadvantages of these games, and then the conclusion. I hope you've enjoyed my essay. I would just love it if you click the like button below and subscribe to my channel for more such essays. Thank you very much.